Hello, YouTube. Guys, today I'm checking out Elemental Shaman, when I'm not lagging, that is. When these servers aren't having some problems. And Ellie right now is looking pretty mental on Midnight Alpha. Again, apologies for the lag. Not too much I can do here, but I wanted to record this video and just showcase a bit of this. Right now I'm playing the Ellie and the Boys in Blue build that I'm kind of configuring here, but it's kind of mental. You can see a lot of lava bursts chaining off, and yeah, just a lot of stuff happening on screen for Ellie here. It looks really, really fascinating if you're taking all of these things that I'm currently taking. Who knows if this will end up being some kind of viable build or not, but it's pretty sick. I've been really enjoying some of the testing. Some of the changes look really, really good from my perspective. So I want to talk about what's new, what's changed, like what's the deal with Elemental, show off the Apex talents and that kind of thing. So, a couple things have been removed. Ellie is also getting pruned and simplified, just like every single other spec in the game. So a couple big hitters that have gone. Storm Elemental is gone. Primordial Wave is gone. Magma Chamber's gone. Liquid Magma Totem is gone. Ice Fury is gone. So you're no longer needing to Liquid Magma Totem or use Ice Fury, Frost Shock in AoE and use it as a way of, like, I mean, I don't think you need to do this in the War Within anyway, but like you would at times, do the different spellcasts for Elemental Blast. I don't think that's a thing in the War Within at the moment now anyway. But just even having to weave in the Ice Fury, Frost Shock, sort of combo there, you don't have to do that anymore. So that's gone. They've consolidated a few things. So Stormkeeper's still there. You still have a choice node on Earth Shock or Elemental Blast. You have Ascendance now, which is still 2 or 3 minute cooldown, whatever you want to pick, but you no longer have the proc-based Ascendance. It's always going to be an active cooldown that you're getting with Ascendance. So you no longer have just that chance for the random proc. So those are the things that are happening there. A couple other things. So Voltaic Blaze has been added. It's kind of like Primordial Wave, or at least one version of Primordial Wave. Voltaic Blaze is going to apply Flame Shock to its main target and 5 other surrounding targets. And then there's a talent which is going to cause your lava... Voltaic Blaze is going to cause your next lava burst to cleave 6 targets, I believe, or 5 additional targets. Yeah, so 5 additional targets, so 6 targets in total. So, while you'll be able to spread your Flame Shock quite quickly in AoE and quite consistently, especially as things are stacking up and whatnot, or like on a boss where mobs are going to be spawning quick, you can get Flame Shock running instantly on some burst mobs, and then like Lava Burst. If you stack some things up and prepare in advance, you can then AoE more effectively on quick burst mobs. So that's some potential there. There's like some build capacity here for like Flame Shock damage and Lava Burst damage and stuff down here at this part of the tree and along the right hand side here. So there's some of that stuff going on. That's really, really cool. Actually, that's what you're seeing in this, where like I'm using Voltaic Blaze. I'm going to get this buff Purging Flames here. I summon a couple Ancestors. Let me summon another one. And then I can Lava Burst now, and they're all going to hit Lava Burst. I mean, look how many Lava Bursts that was. That was mental. So, really quite cool. I can do it again. Podcast a Lava Burst there. Everything's going to hit. I mean, that is, like, just so beautiful. Love the look of that. So that's going to be going on there. Now, the developers have noted, so our goals with Elemental in Midnight is to reduce the number of rotational abilities and auras tracked, make it simpler to engage with Stormbringer talents, and add new gameplay for using fire spells in AoE. Flame Shock can now be replaced with an upgraded ability, Voltaic Blaze, that applies 6 Flame Shocks and causes your next Lava Burst to hit all Flame Shock targets, similar to previous designs for Primordial Wave. With this version, we're looking to allow a quick transition from Flame Shock application to the AoE Lava Burst for simplicity and keeping up with the demands of AoE against short-lived creatures. This is an optional talent path, so for players who want to focus on Lightning and Maelstrom spenders, that's still intended to be a viable playstyle. So that does definitely seem like a thing. Now, I don't know if this change, because like right now, traditionally, I think in the War Within, Farseer is like single target, Stormbringer is AoE. Maybe there's some scope here because your Farseers are going to copy your abilities, and that works with Voltaic Blaze. So maybe summoning Ancestors and Lava Bursting a bunch of stuff in AoE could either be some really good burst, or could just be really good in AoE in general. So there's some potential there. You could also get quite a bit shorter Stormkeeper. So Stormkeeper can be reduced down to 30-second CD for Stormbringer and reduced down to 45-second CD for Farseer. So you've got the Ancestral Swiftness every 30 seconds. You've got Stormkeeper every 45. So you can have that going on, summoning a bunch of Ancestors, doing Lava Burst and AoE. A couple of the things that have like changed. I mean, there's new talents. There's like, you know, buff this damage, buff that damage, kind of generic stuff that I don't need to get too into the weeds with, because that'll just come down to like tuning on what ends up being the best things to take there. Anything that's actually like changing your gameplay at all, or maybe something interesting to think about. Earthquake now deals nature damage instead of physical. I think there are some nature damage like scaling things, right? So yeah, while Storm Elemental is active, nature damage dealt is increased by 6%. I think there's some other stuff and whatever. So that's maybe something there. There's some application with that, with Earthquake being nature scaling now. What else? Oh, Echoes of the Great Sundering. So, Echoes of Great Sundering now, when it's empowered, right? So if I can hopefully show this no lag. So when I now Elemental Blast, my Earthquake is going to light up to show that it's empowered. Now, I've been told that this is currently in the War Within as well. But, I mean, it's saying it's an alpha update, and I only noticed it in the alpha. So maybe it is in the War Within as well, and maybe they've just done that overnight. Maybe because it's in alpha, they've applied it to the real game, or maybe it's been in the War Within for ages now. I don't know. To me, that feels new, and it's saying it's new. So I don't feel like I'm going crazy, but let me know if I am. So yeah, Herald of Storm now reduces the cooldown of Stormkeeper by 15 seconds. That's what I was talking about here. So it's a choice node with Fury of Storms, which casting Stormkeeper summons a greater Storm Elemental to hurl gusts of wind at your enemies. So that's maybe like running a Storm, more of a Stormbringer build. You can drop it down to 45 seconds. I think there's some Storm... Well, there's definitely one of these. Sorry, forgive me. One of these you're going to want to run Stormkeeper on. And one of these you're going to want to run... you're going to want to run reduced Stormkeeper, and one of them you're going to want to run, like, the Storm Elemental Summon. And I'm actually missing which one is which right now, but it's one of them. So please forgive me. But that's how that's looking there, so you've got that choice node there. In my testing, the only thing that's still kind of niggling me, that I'm not super loving, is just the gameplay interaction of Echoes of Great Sundering. That's like the one thing that right now I'm just sort of not really loving, is the fact that you're still having to alternate between Elemental Blast, Earthquake, Elemental Blast, Earthquake. And this seemed to be echoed in sentiment by my chat when I was testing Elemental. People were saying, oh, I wish this changed. So maybe some of the community would like that, some of the community wouldn't like that, but I personally would. I don't mind using Elemental Blast still in AoE because you get the big stat gain, and that's really good. But it would be nice if I could just, like, chain be casting Earthquakes. Especially, like, imagine if you did do a Farseer AoE build, and your ancestors are Elemental Blasting for you. Because every time they disappear, they're gonna do an Elemental Blast. So they're proccing your buff for you, and then you could just be, like, Earthquake spamming, doing a bunch of AoE Lava Bursts or something. I don't know. But, like, that sounds kind of neat, and it would be cool to just be slamming Earthquakes. I don't know, maybe that's more of a subjective thing. We have an Apex talent, Feedback Loop. So these are the new talents. Apex talents are like the sort of the new leveling addition. For most specs I've tested, they're pretty passive. They're pretty boring. No offense, Blizzard. I think that's the intent. I was speaking to Jade Martin at Gamescom, who's the lead class designer, and he was saying, like, they don't want these Apex talents to lock you into an ability. So you get force locked into, like, Lava Burst, flipping summons a beam of the thing, and it destroys everything in your path, and you're like, oh, well, now I have to build, like, a Lava Burst build. And so for the whole expansion, single target AoE cleave, doesn't matter, I have to go Lava Burst. Like, that's what they want to avoid. They want things that are generally gonna, like, affect either something very generic in your rotation, or something that's just gonna, like, be passive, I guess. So, Elemental Overload damage increased by 35%. That's just the mastery. And then Spell Crit Strike chance increased by 10%. Elemental Fury increases Spell Crit Strike damage by an additional 50%. And then you have Elemental Overloads have a 25% chance to cause an additional Elemental Overload. This effect cannot change. This is just more cast copies, more, mastery effects. do more things happening. Cool. So that's the situation there with the Apex talent. That might have more an effect of how you actually build the stats of your character. A lot of this, if you actually look at it, is probably just stat stuff. Crit, mastery, haste, like how you want to build. I think. I'm sure that a absolute Giga Chad theory crafter will figure all that kind of stuff out. What else has really been changing? So they've added in Stormbringer, the right side of the tree. So Stormwell is new. So Storm Elemental lasts 2 seconds longer, and Stormkeeper generates 10 Maelstrom. So I guess if you're getting a Storm Elemental there, it's lasting longer. Kind of cool. Tempest's chance to occur has been redesigned. It's no longer based on Maelstrom spent, and it now has a 0.3% chance to occur per Maelstrom spent. Oh yeah, so it's no longer total Maelstrom spent. It's based on per Maelstrom spent. Okay. Don't know really the effects of that. Arc Discharge has been redesigned. Casting Tempest grants a charge of Stormkeeper. Rolling Thunder has been redesigned. Now reduces the cooldown of Stormkeeper by 15 seconds. That's here. And then Awakening Storms has been redesigned. Now increases the chance to gain Tempest by an additional 0.3%. I don't know where that is. Awakening Storm. If I was a Storm, where would I be? Where would I be? I don't know. Oh, wait. That one. Yeah, that one. Cool. So, yeah, the original Tempest one is there. Cool. So, that's kind of the situation with Ellie. Again, I think it looks really cool. I think it could be really quite fun. I'm going to lag out again, so I can't show you some last second gameplay. But I think it really looks fun. I could absolutely see myself playing this. When, like, I don't know if I'm a Feral Druid main, but I can absolutely see myself playing around with this. I'm already doing a bit of it on live, and yeah, this just, like, feels really cool, looks really cool. Yeah, I was running, like, an LE build, so I'm summoning a bunch of elementals and stuff. I don't know actually how strong that's going to be. That'll just come down to tuning. But there's like the LE build on the left, on the right, sorry, and then I guess there's like other stuff you can build. You know, you got lightning rod and whatnot for more primary damage and that kind of thing. Cool. I guess that's everything I got to say on LE. You guys can let me in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you think. I am testing all these alpha specs. I'm testing absolutely everything. If I haven't posted a video on it already, it will be coming. Come check me out live on Twitch, where most days I'm just going to be checking out alpha and checking out all the different specs as we go into beta. Beta launches November 11th. That's when beta will be out. Make sure that if you haven't already pre-ordered the Epic Edition, if you can afford it, you know what I mean? And you'll get beta access from that. So then you can come and test these things for yourself. But thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you again. Thanks for watching.